What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Cantina Jargon. Happy May the 4th. Joined by Caden from Cantina Talk, as always. And yeah, we are going live. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff today. We got Bad Batch finale. We haven't discussed that. We got a new Acolyte trailer. And we have Tales of the Empire, which just came out last night.
Yeah.
So what do you want to discuss first?
I mean, we could either go Tails or Acolyte just because it's the most recent thing.
Yeah.
Let's go Tails.
Let's go Tails. Tails is a let's start here. Do you like Tales of the Empire better or Tales of the Jedi better?
I would say Tales of the Jedi just because I felt like there was more to the story. But at the same time, like with Tales of the Empire, it could have been a lot better, but also could have been so much worse. And that's kind of what I'm looking at with the Bad Batch finale too. Like it could have been way worse than what we got, and it could have been way better. I'm glad that we got what we got. Seeing Pelion was insane, and like
that's
seeing
Rook,
part. Like dude, when I first saw, I was like, "Is that you, Lauren?" And then when he talked and I saw the caption saying Pelion, I'm like, "No way, there's no way." And that's when NC was like messaging you like, "Yo, Joe, like wait for episode 2."
As soon as he talked, I was like, "Oh my god, they got Pelion." And then when Rook showed up, I'm like, "Okay, I like that." Dude, they're like really leaning into the whole Thrawn thing.
The fact that like Rook was actually like a badass this time and not kind of just there in Rebels, like this Rook actually felt like menacing, and I was like, dude, like I can't believe this is happening right now.
I wondered if it was a different Nogri at first because he was so different. I was like, is this a different Nogri? And then he's like, "Oh, Rook," and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
I was also kind of surprised that Morgan came up with the TIE Defender. Like the TIE Defender program was originally hers.
Yeah.
To me, that was kind of like, damn, like all right, like I see how she ties in now. Like it makes sense.
I do like it overall. I'm not sure how I feel about that specific thing because I kind of liked that was like Thrawn's like baby that he was, you know.
I mean, well, it still technically is. I mean, he's taking it from Morgan and revamping and making it better and more suitable for the Empire.
Yeah,
at least that's the way I'm looking at it.
That's true. I mean, she would never get it off the ground without him. So I agree with that.
Kind of like the B-Wing.
Yeah, and Thrawn doesn't need to be the guy who creates everything because he's smart enough to just realize the greatness and like how to utilize it. Yeah, dude, Thrawn was so cool, and Pelion, and I mean, I actually liked the Morgan arc a little better, I'd say.
I would too. It just felt like there should have been more to it. Like Barris's episodes felt like there was more to them.
I don't know. They both kind of felt like that to me because of the time jump and everything, but I don't know.
It just felt like there was I don't know. To me, that there's more focus on at least like her backstory when it comes to Dathomir.
Yeah,
like I felt like that took maybe a little bit too long, and just the term and just in the short time constraint that we have.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Barris is almost maybe like ran too long towards the end.
Oh yeah.
Like I feel like the pacing just felt a little weird because like one episode was 17 minutes, the next one was 13 or 10.
Right.
Like it was, I don't know.
No, it was a little all over the place, but overall really cool. I love that they're doing these kind of like shorter stories, and I'd love to see more of them. I mean, obviously, I want to see them do like maybe a Boba one, like between like you know, I guess Clone Wars and Empire Strikes Back. Like, what was he doing? You know what I mean? Like, we know nothing.
Yeah, I could definitely see like Boba, Aura Singh, Fennec, also Cad Bane, like Dengar, and like that's we gotta get something like that soon.
Yeah, give me like Bosk, and it'd be cool. That'd be really cool. I'd like to see that. I'd love to see a Luke one, especially because it doesn't seem like we're gonna get a Luke show. So I'd love to like get some, some in between stuff. That'd be cool. I mean, the possibilities are endless. But all I know is that I really loved seeing Pelion and Thrawn, and then even jumping into the New Republic era, like how it ended with the message to Bo-Katan and everything. Like, dude,
when I heard Bo's voice, I'm like, nah, no way Katie just came in for one line and then just like was like, I'm done. Like, there's no way that they just got Katie to say one thing quickly. Like,
Oh yeah, man.
like
It's
that was so
like
cool.
they got everyone to do like everyone
Yeah,
was voicing the from live action like in this thing. Like
like I
that's pretty cool.
noticed, like I said it during my watch party. I was like, damn, they really pulled like they didn't pull any punches with grabbing the voice actors. They got Clancy Brown, they got Steve Bloom, they got
Yep.
Lars Mikkelsen, like they got Xander Berkeley, they got Katie
Yeah.
Sackhoff. Like they, and also too, young Morgan Elsbeth still being voiced by Diana Lee. I didn't think it was gonna be her for like when she was on Dathomir.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like that was
She sounds
fully
good
her.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it
Sounds
was
good.
fully believable. That's why like I had to look it up on IMDb. I'm like, wait, who voiced young Morgan? And the fact that it
Dude,
was her was like, it was great.
yeah, I agree. Xander though as Pelion has to be one of the greatest decisions they've ever made at Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
I mean, because live action, perfect. Voice, perfect. Like I'm all for it. Clark says, "Hey Clark, welcome to the chat. Thanks for joining." FYI, did we cast Pelion on the project? This is referring to the anime project. If not, I nominate Critical Drinker. Is Critical Drinker like Scottish? Like, what is his accent? Or is he Irish? I don't even know what that is.
I'm not entirely sure either.
He's got an accent. There's no way in hell he would ever be part of our project. Too small time for him. But that would be hilarious.
Scotland, yeah, Scotland.
Scotland. Okay, yeah. That's funny. We do not have a Pelion though. To answer your question, we actually do not have a Pelion. And speaking of Pelion, Ben sent me an animation he was doing this morning. I think he sent it regarding our Pelion shot. So yeah, I need to get back to him on that, but he's working hard, guys, and it is really coming along. That's all I can say. So I will I'll actually share that with you guys right now while we're chatting, right? Why not? We're chatting Pelion. Here we go. All right. Here we go. This is Pelion on the bridge. Getting that turn down. Check it out, Thrawn pulling up. So, and obviously Thrawn is pretty stiff right now. Will be animated as well, but the turn is really smooth. I mean, I love how it that's the cartoon look. What do you think?
I love it. I don't know why too. I just love how like Thrawn's schnoz is so like it fits
Yeah,
with the
he's
animation. Like it works.
he's like menacing, man. He's got like
Yeah.
this very pointed chin, pointed like ears, face. It's all very. He looks alien, and I think that's what we wanted. So
He looks like an eldritch like. Yeah, I don't even. I can't even like describe it. Like when I look at Thrawn, I'm like, oh, that's a character in Lord of the Rings. Like,
right. I don't know if I ever shared like the original Thrawn like we drafted up, but it was just so human looking. I was like, I don't, I want something a little more alien. And then of course we went more alien. So pretty cool.
No, let's talk about how Thrawn looked in the animation. Like,
oh
in
my,
Wars,
in
like,
the Tales of the Empire, unbelievable, man. Thrawn was like. It made me want. I want the Thrawn series like in Clone Wars style now. So,
I mean, if they do the canon version with the Grisk, with the Ascendancy trilogy, like it's already in that time period, pretty much. Like just dial it a year or two back, like it would work. And dude, like it's like he looked amazing, and the fact too that like somehow he was still so menacing with like subtle, like little to no movement in his face at all. Like I don't know, like there's a couple of like twitches in his eyes when he was talking too, and he was talking Morgan about her lying. Like it felt like Lars when he was getting annoyed in live action.
Yeah,
with Ahsoka.
Like they captured the subtleness.
Yeah, they captured the little like twitches and stuff. I was like, dude, like this is perfect. Yeah. Like,
oh yeah, dude. That was definitely my favorite part. You called it too. You like text me this morning or whatever. You're like, dude, episode 2. I'm like, okay. I watch episode 2. I'm like, yeah, this is fucking awesome.
Just the second I heard like, and that was only when I saw like the Pelion caption on the closed captions. That was before
we got
the
Thrawn like Rook and all that. Yeah. Oh
so then when I got that, I'm like, dude, I was like, dude, Joe's gonna love this episode. Like this. This is me, Joe's favorite.
Dude. Yep, you were right. I eat that shit up. He looks like Bela Lugosi's classic Dracula. Kind of, yeah. We Rambo. What's
What's
going
going
on,
on?
man? Big support of the project right there. I don't know if you saw this. I'm just gonna play it again for you. Some some early animation on Pelion and Thrawn. So we are making progress, guys. Maybe I don't know if I showed this one yet either, actually.
I have
Look at
not
the
seen this either.
footsteps. Yeah, the footsteps in there and everything.
I was more focused on Thrawn's hand movement that he was doing like that.
Yeah, that's like a preliminary. This is actually it. Dude, this is so funny. Ben took a picture with his action figure. That's an action figure. That's not even drawn yet. So that he could like get the,
Yeah,
basically the blocking down. Um but I mean, look at his attention to detail cuz watch like the shadows
yeah.
below Mar like when she steps in.
Man.
Yeah. Trailer is going to be so sick. It's going to be really good. That's all I can say. Project's going to come along really well.
Ben's
And I'm
killing it,
excited.
man.
Ben's killing it. And I like I said, I'm working on getting someone involved with the ship scenes. They they're working on their own little fan project right now. So I think they're gonna help us out though, which is really cool. So should have some of those opening shots done actually relatively soon. I'd say in the next month or two.
Man. Faceless Pelion is so cursed. That's fair.
Agreed. Agreed. So what did you think of like the end of spoilers? We're talking spoilers. Yeah, we're all talking
It's in the
spoilers, guys.
title. It's in the thumbnail.
Yeah, it is. I mean, what did you think of the end of Varys?
I thought it was like wasn't the way I was expecting it to go, but I'm okay with it. Like I did not expect Barris. Also, I think this is also after Kenobi. That last episode takes place after Kenobi because the fourth sister was still part of the Inquisitorius then, and obviously she's leaving at the end of with Barris. Like she's like leaving that life essentially. But
yeah,
I did not expect Barris to be aged up, like she like with the wrinkles and stuff.
like old. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
Because
little
it
bit
wasn't that
different.
much. It wasn't like it could only, like you said, even if it was like after Kenobi, maybe 10, 12 years. Like,
And Barris was already in her, it was only, I think, already like 16, 17 when it started. So, I mean, like she had gray hair in some of her hair strands.
Barris is
So,
the same age as Anakin.
oh, Barris is the same age as Anakin?
Yeah, they're actually like a year apart tops. Like, yeah.
I thought Barris was like a year older than Ahsoka.
Yeah, a lot of people think she's Ahsoka's age. She's actually Anakin's age. So, but the gray hair still doesn't make a lot of sense because Anakin would be like in his 30s at that time. Like, so you know what I mean? He wouldn't have gray hair.
I mean, I'm all for it. I'm not gonna like I'm not like
I mean, maybe she was just like been run down so much by the Empire that she,
look
it
at
aged her.
look at Alleganis with Kenobi. They said that like with the sand and the suns on Tatooine, it aged him more.
Mm-hmm.
It could be the same with the snow and being in this cold environment. It ages her more.
Yeah, harsh environment, hiding from the Empire, maybe suppressing herself from the Force, that kind of thing could age her. I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be.
I wasn't expecting it to be that much, but I was like, okay, like it works. But like because at first, like I was like, when I first saw like the silhouette walking up, I was like, oh, that's Fourth Sister, and everyone in my chat was like, no, it's Vader, it's Vader, it's Vader. I'm like, I don't know, don't get my hopes up, and it was her. And then like seeing Barris like taunt the Fourth Sister with everything the Grand Inquisitor had said to her was like a lot like poetry, but it made me like it showed that Barris is matured in the Force, like almost like Ezra, where he doesn't need to have a lightsaber, like he's strong enough to know that like the lightsaber doesn't make him a Jedi,
right? Like the power doesn't make you a Jedi. It's other. It's being with the Force basically.
And like I thought that was great. The only thing is like I wish that like I don't know. It felt like Vader was gonna play way more of a role with the trailer, and I kind of wish we got more of that because like it was kind of just like a tease. Like it really didn't do anything, and I thought it was gonna go a little bit further with that.
It would have been cool if Vader killed her, just for the connection with the Clone Wars and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, and at first too, when with that Jedi not being Luminara, I feel like that's kind of just a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Like to say the
Yeah.
least. Like that was just like I don't know. Like I was kind of let down by that just because of like the fact that like it was so close to what the concept image or the set photo had looked like that I was kind of like already like, oh yeah, no, that's Luminara. Um,
Will had us convinced.
Yeah. I mean,
I
but
blame
to be
Will.
fair though, like it made perfect sense. And even like when she was swinging her saber, her skin still looked green. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Clark says by his 30s, Anakin hair was burnt to a
Yeah, he
crisp.
didn't have eyebrows, dude.
This is true. He had no hair at that time, and he did look really old, probably because of the burns. A totally different situation, though. Different circumstances.
I mean,
I can't.
but if Anakin can grow eyebrows for Return of the Jedi, I mean, Bears can grow some wrinkles. I mean,
that's true. This is very true. uh, all right. Do you have any other thoughts on Tales? I mean, I like that they're doing these things. I hope they continue them. I'd actually like to get one a year though, instead
yeah,
of
I would
like
like them
one
to
every
push them
couple
out
years.
a little
Yeah.
quicker. Like it's been 2
Yeah.
years since Tales of the Jedi. I mean,
if it's only 15-minute episodes, it needs to be pushed out a little faster. That's
yeah,
fine.
like I don't know. I like it should have been more, but it also could have been so much worse. So I'm just glad
I
that
liked it. I mean, I
yeah.
liked it. It's cool. So, which let's stay on the animation side. Let's talk Bad Batch before we get into Acolyte and start breaking that down.
Right.
We haven't talked about the Bad Batch finale at all. You and I haven't.
Nope. I wanted to so many times, but I'm like, I'm gonna refrain.
I'm like trying to figure out where to start here. There's so many interesting things to discuss. I mean, the fate of Tantus. Tantus is essentially offline, but has not been destroyed to the extent that it's unusable. Especially not all the bases. There's 3 bases or 4, right?
Yeah,
According to your video,
could
you think
be
there's 4.
technically 4.
Yeah,
but for sure there's 3 that we've seen on screen, like fully 3.
and only 1 was maybe half destroyed by the Zillo Beast.
I mean, I wouldn't even say half. I mean, that felt like it was like
it just kind of
was
broke
pretty
out.
like dumb. Like, it was very tame.
Okay, so do you think we're still gonna get Tantus in live action?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, even more so now than before.
Yeah, I think it's like confirmed.
Especially when like Tarkin kind of like was like I think he said something around like close all like the blast doors and then we're gonna be transferring all the funds to Project Stardust. I'm like, okay, they're why would they add in like the like closing the blast doors? Because Thrawn's just gonna come back and reopen them. Like,
yeah. Well, that's the whole thing. In the Thrawn trilogy, like he doesn't know how to get into the mountain. That's why the Guardian is Joruus, obviously, and he's the one who can get him in. So, yeah, I think
like, after that, I don't think we'll see Joruus, honestly, just because like there isn't a reason for him for the story as of right now.
The one thing I'll say though, there's definitely in that vault earlier in the season, Palpatine goes into the vault and he looks at who is probably a clone of him, I'm thinking, or maybe an abomination like a Snoke or something like that. Joruus. And we never ever see who it is. Why give us that scene if there's not still something sitting in there in a freaking in one of these casings or whatever?
Let me tell you, there's about I've counted. There's about 30 to 40 of those points from this entire season. Because right before the finale came out, I went back and rewatched the entire season.
Yeah,
I wrote down like a bunch of plot points that had no to little return on. They're like,
and there's a lot.
Like they were added in and then never were discussed again.
Yeah.
I mean, also too, Thrawn just has the Zillo Beast just chilling now on Wayland. So like,
yeah.
I mean, if they bring the Zillo Beast in live action, it's gonna cost a ton of money. But at the same time, like, that could be a reason why like the Jedi can't do anything because the lightsabers won't penetrate its armor.
That's true, but we now have Ezra and Grogu who have be able to tame animals. I mean, Grogu tamed a Rancor.
Okay, but like a
So
Rancor and a Zillo Beast, I think like
right,
scale wise, like I don't know if that'll be possible.
I could see both of them though together trying to tame the Zillo Beast and
That's fair.
possibly succeeding.
Ahsoka too with the whales.
Yes,
If she
Ahsoka,
gets back anyway.
as well, right? So I definitely think the Zillo Beast. I think that'll pay off later. I think whatever clone abomination is sitting in Tantus, I think that's going to pay off too. I think it's all going to be through this Thrawn movie, though.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's where it's gonna go. Especially since we didn't get anything to that with Tales, and
Yeah,
I'm probably honestly gonna make a fan fiction out of like what my ending would have been with what I mentioned about Thrawn coming to Tantus,
yeah,
because like the whole ending for CX2 was disappointing to say the least. Even if it was Tech or even Cody, like why would you build this character up so much just to
right.
like not even like give him like an actual payoff?
Well, not only that, but they had all these other CX clones in there that they just released, right? Like, why then let DX2 guy live and like show that, oh yeah, when he fell from this waterfall, like he's alive still. Like, it's just so weird. Like, there's no payoff at all on that. And what there's also no payoff on the Cody storyline because they're not connected at all. So we
Yeah.
don't even know anything about Cody
So
at
like
all.
I've noticed this for a while. Like so like Star Wars has like a clear like for their season, there's a really strong beginning, a really strong end, and like a really strong middle, and in between it's just random shit that they fill in with.
It kind of feels that way
And
sometimes. Yeah.
that's how it felt with this season. Like
Yeah.
the finale felt super rushed to me. Like the pacing was like boom, 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 boom. Where was
Yeah.
this all season? Like the writers did some great stuff with episode 6 and 7 with the two parter with CX2 and Teth.
Yeah.
But then going from that
And
to
Wolf.
literally
Yeah.
rewriting an entire Mando season 2 episode and taking all the good things about it and throwing it away for the Juggernaut, it was like, well, what the fuck are you guys doing here? Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of what's like. I'm just so confused where their thought process went.
It was strange for sure, man. I'm
What's up,
just not
RJ?
sure. Yeah, I'm just not sure what to say there. Hey RJ, and he's got a comment here, so I want to touch on this. I was expecting the other CX operatives in the final episode to be revealed as clones of the Bad Batch after seeing the spear wielding one like being like Wrecker. I agree. When they all came out, I'm like, okay, these are literally just clones of the Bad Batch. That's what I thought it was going to be.
That's what I thought too. I was like, dude, like let's go. And then like, okay, I don't want this to sound like I'm hating on Bad Batch because I'm not. But the finale honestly felt like there was nothing really at stake. Like there wasn't like, okay, when they had Crosshair like that and they wanted to cut off his hand, I thought that they were gonna cut off his hand just because of like that's where Star Wars has gone in the past. And they go to just like to taunt him to cut off his hand
and like keep
like
him alive. It makes no actual sense. Like if there were, well, so they said they wanted to keep them so that they could recondition them, right? That's why they cut off his hand and not his head, basically, because they were going to try and recondition them again when they took them all prisoner.
That was their reasoning for why, but it just lazy. Like
it felt empty. I agree. I mean, overall I did like the finale. I will say that I did like the finale, and I was shocked that none of them died.
I was too. I liked it, and like I'm glad that we got it. Like I'm glad that everything happened with Hemlock. Like it kind of sad that like Scorch just got killed off, and there was no payoff with at least the rest of the members of the Delta Squad.
That was the most pointless thing in the world to even bring him in.
Yeah, I mean they already had the full Delta Squad in Clone Wars, so that's like I liked it, but at the same time, like they even mentioned like you know you should go like get reinforcements from Rex, and then they just didn't. When Crosshair wanted to invoke Plan 99.
Yeah,
like they mentioned going and getting help to make it like an actual battle. That's like what the title "The Cavalry Has Arrived" should have been, not the clones on the inside. Like,
yeah, Rex never shows up. Like I was really expecting Rex. I don't know.
Why would they hint everything with Wolf too, and not just at least give us that payoff of them interacting? Same thing with Gregor, with like Echo showing up with Gregor, just chilling, like just standing there. Like, I don't know. They
really interesting ending choices, but
yeah.
You know what I did love about the ending though is the epilogue.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Especially from season 1. I think the first line that Hunter said to Omega is like, "Where's your parents?" From him going and saying that like, "Where your parents, Omega?"
Yeah,
Like that was like, all right, like I'm okay with it. And that's
I
why like
loved it.
I'm okay with the ending because it was meaningful.
Yeah, it was, and seeing her grown up a little bit. Clearly, she's not a Force user from everything we can tell,
Yeah.
which I like. And she's going off to fight with the Rebel Alliance because what else can she do? I think that's great.
And I
It's
also
very
think,
Star Wars, like very, very Star Wars.
yeah, it felt like she was going off to go help in A New Hope, or like in Empire anyway. Like it
Yeah,
felt like it was in that setting, and I'm okay with it. Like
yeah,
that's like the lesser of all evils. I would have been like, all right, let's like that's okay.
yeah. I think it was really cool. I really, really liked the epilogue. It made me want to see like, okay, where is she now? What's she doing now? And I think that's the nice part about it is that we still are left wanting more, and I hope we get it, whether it's live action or some New Republic era show where she's still alive or something like that as an adult. That'd be cool.
You know what I just like thought of that I just remember from season 2. I think season 2 anyway. Hera and Omega both went from being like children of like the war to then
Mhm.
becoming pilots in the war.
Yeah,
Like,
I
like it was
forgot
just kind of cool because
Hera's
like they were
in
like
Hera. That's
friends.
season one, dude. I
That's
think
season
where
1,
Hera's
I
in.
think.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
season
yeah, I
one
think you're
where
right. Yeah,
Hera's.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah. And
cool.
then they both ended up becoming rebel pilots. So it's they come in full circle. Um,
Yeah, I like it.
I don't think he survived, dude. I'm sorry.
Well, doesn't Tarkin say? Oh, well, let me read the whole thing. He was likely working for Palpatine's resurrection while Pershing was working at Gideon's Forces of Clones. I think it was good, but it would have been nice if they had the Empire win. I think allowing the villains win now and then allows opposing team to actually feel like a threat.
I agree with
Agreed.
that.
I just think they could have taken out a Crosshair or a Wrecker and made it feel like pretty satisfying.
Like when Wrecker went out the window, that could have just been his end. Like he could have been impaled when he went out the window from
Wrecker
like
was like, dude, he was like dying for half the episode, and then he was just like alive all
and
of
then
a
all of a
sudden.
sudden he's just able to like dive through windows.
Yeah, like I'm like, okay, he's definitely not gonna make it, and because they were like foreshadowing it, but hey, they subverted my expectations with that one, so I'll say that much. It's like, oh, he's just alive still, so okay.
Like I don't think Hemlock could have survived even from the fall, just because of like Tarkin saying that like in fact like Hemlock and his forces have perished. Like I think Hemlock's done, and that's the only way that it would work because if he's around while Pershing is, what's the point of having both of them? Like
I
Hemlock is way more
agree.
advanced than Pershing.
I think that Hemlock's dead. And Tarkin, the first thing he like literally got confirmed to him when he arrived. Remember the trooper comes up and is
Yeah,
like, yeah, we lost a few, like Hemlock, and he like names, I think, some
yeah,
troopers or something like that. And he's like, okay. Then let's move everything to the Death
yeah.
Star.
So he's like, all right, yeah,
So
let's just go
yeah.
ahead.
So
Um,
I think that also is like they wanted to confirm with the audience that like, yeah, I know we didn't show him splat on the ground, but like he's dead.
like,
So
and nothing with the glove either. Like, that's kind of just like, dude, like,
dude,
what happened to the
I,
hand? like, I get if the glove doesn't
Crosshairs
fit,
like
don't quit.
shaky
But
hand, crazy. Crosshair shaky hand and Hemlock shaky hand. Nope, no idea, no freaking clue what any of it means.
okay, I was like, I will say, like, I'm glad that I was right about the gas coming back because it felt like it was way too much of a scene to put in season 2 to not see it come back. But
Yeah,
same thing with Cody though, so that's why I'm kind of just like, it's a toss up. But like seeing his gas come back, I was kind of just like, okay, like I'm glad that this is here because that makes
yeah.
sense.
I really hope that there's like a Q&A or something at Celebration next year. Like someone asks the question, like, okay, like what is up with the freaking glove, man? That is so funny. I didn't even think about that. Like for a while, there's so many. I think the only thing I messaged you after I watched it, it was like, I have more questions now than ever, like something like that. Like none of our
Yeah.
questions have been answered at all. I was so like, I was just so confused, like why they didn't wrap up everything. But I think we're gonna get another show still yet, probably pre A New Hope, and I think maybe maybe some of the clones will show up. I think we're gonna get a show with Ventress though. It still
Yeah,
seems like that.
that's what I hope we won't get the most, is because especially like they mentioned the path in Tales, like
Yeah,
and Barris's final episode. Like they
yeah,
mentioned
yeah.
the path and taking the child to the path.
I think we're getting the path show. I do.
That's what I think as well. It's just too many things are pointing to it for it to not happen at this point. I feel like.
Oh yeah.
Um, but at the same
Ventress,
time,
Quinlan's name dropped, and Kenobi.
Quinlan was here. Yeah, like
Yeah. So like that's why I'm kind of like, okay, I think we're getting that show next.
okay, like, and I'm also okay with them being on Pabu now that like Hemlock is dead and that like everything from Tantus is just done. But I still think them staying on Pabu is probably the dumbest thing that they could have done.
That made no
Like,
sense to me. Like the Empire knows what this place is. They have record of no matter what, no matter if Hemlock's dead or not, they have record of him going there for sure.
and like, okay, maybe Seleucami isn't the option for even for like a little bit, but somewhere where like they haven't been, like Hunter and Wrecker charted the galaxy twice. They had to have found places that they have never, like the Empire like hasn't even, like backwater worlds that like Corvus, backwater worlds the Empire has never even been to yet.
Yeah.
Like even, I mean, obviously this is in the future, but like Lyrasan, for example, like there's no way the Empire can get to Lyrasan. So
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
I think if you want to stay hidden, you can from the Empire. But yeah, the Pabu was a very interesting choice. I gotta agree with that. And yes, RJ, we definitely, I think we're all in agreement now.
Yeah,
Season one
I'm
for
wrong on
her.
that one. What's going on, Skywalker's
Skywalker's
Academy?
Academy. Hey, how's it going? Hello there, General Kenobi. When Wrecker's will to live is higher than Padme's.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's a really fair point. Mind you, when I mentioned Hemlock could have survived, I mean, he did die, but didn't have to die. I don't know. I going into it, I was like, he's for sure dead. Like, he's not gonna live.
Yeah, when he told Dr. Card that like her fate is tied to Omega's, I was like, all right, dude, all right, he's dying. Like, there's no way that like especially when he grabbed Omega and like put the handcuffs on her, I'm like, dude, like you're doing the like I know exactly what's gonna happen, and this is like this is like he's going to die. Like the second he stopped the handcuffs on, I'm like, dude, fate's sealed. Like, congrats.
Yeah. You know, I did really like in the episode was Nala Say's like sacrifice.
Yeah,
That was cool.
Rampart too. Like I knew he was gonna turn on them. Like it was like
Yeah, for him to go down with her though, that was pretty cool.
it reminded me in Logan with Kaladin.
Oh yeah.
When he's like, "Let there be light," when he has like a bunch of the grenades in his hands. Like that's what I was like, all right, that's kind of sick.
It was
Nala
sick. I
Say.
really liked it. And it kind of adds up now of why like Palpatine's necromancer project had been stalled for so long, because now we're in, you know, Mando era is like what, 20 years later, maybe a little more, a little over 20 years,
25.
yeah,
roughly.
like 25 years, yeah. So which makes sense. So like now they're kind of trying to get back to it with Pershing, and now they lost Pershing too, so he's been fried.
I mean, yeah, I don't think he's coming back. Dude's mind is mush. Like,
Yeah, he's got scrambled brains.
he's in a worse spot than Borg Gullet at this point. So
Right.
the Empire won with Order 66 Empire Day. That's fair.
They sure did. Thrawn wins a lot. He does. He does. He's, I mean, especially in the books.
I mean, he's the smartest tactician for a reason.
Right. Star Wars will never be wrapped up until a long time from the Skywalker saga. Yeah, I mean, this franchise will go on forever. I think Disney's goal here has to be, though, to get away from the Skywalker saga era at some point, because I mean, let's put it this way. This generation and probably even next still are going to recognize Anakin and Luke as kind of like the heroes of Star Wars. And at some point, as much as, we can, I'm going to admit, and I think everyone else should, like, I think they wanted that to be Rey, and Rey didn't really win over the people like they had hoped.
They had tried to already restart like the next era.
Yeah.
And they kind of failed with it, so they went back to what works or has worked.
Right.
Once they
And
break that, though, we can easily move past. I think that there's so many stories to move past too,
yeah.
or from.
And I think this Rey movie is going to be a bridge to like another new era. I think they're actually trying to already move past the sequel era because it's not the moneymaker they hoped it would be. They need to get some heroes in there like a Mandalorian. I mean, Mandalorian is that basically, but the problem with Mandalorian is he's stuck in the Skywalker era still. So when Luke shows up, all else, he trumps everything else basically. So
Yeah.
they still can't completely get away from it. So I think they need a Mandalorian type character for a future era that they can lead on, Star Wars with, basically. So,
I mean, and that's why I'm also glad that we're getting Acolyte, because we're going back. We're getting away from the Skywalker saga and going back to the height of the Jedi. Which,
sure.
I mean, so I'm even glad too with Dawn of the Jedi. Like we get to finally see on screen the beginning, and I think that's
should be interesting.
I'm glad that they're trying to wrap it all up together.
Yeah, that should be really interesting. I would love to see them do a Old Republic. Obviously, I think that would be that would be a big moneymaker because a lot of the older generation has played the games, so they're going to be into it too. And I think you can capture the younger generation with it. That would be my opinion. Quick theory I thought of earlier. Technically, it would be possible for everyone to be force sensitive in the far future if reproduction slowly builds up the child midichlorian count. I think the force doesn't it work in ways that it will like balance itself out,
like the dyads essentially, or even I mean you can't really call it that, but yeah, like the force will like even itself out. I don't think everyone can technically like everyone has midichlorians. Like Han Solo is technically force sensitive, but it's the number is so dwindled that he can't tap into it.
He can't like wield it himself. Yeah.
But like everyone has the force, like George said, like it's in everything. It binds and penetrates everything and everyone. So Han Solo and Kira can have it, but they can't tap into it. Unlike where Ezra or even Jason Solo could.
Yeah. So I'm on the same page as you. The storytelling in the Skywalker saga era is phenomenal. They'll retcon Rey's story to make it known she was trained when she was young. I wrote a story, but it's not going to happen. Would love to hear more about your story, and I don't know if they will retcon it or if they're just going to ignore it for the most part.
I think they're just going to try and like just be like that. So it happened, and like this is the future. Like I think if they go back, more people are going to get upset. Which is
I mean, I would love to see them retcon part of the sequels at least, but I mean, those are as much as I hate to admit it, they are 3 of the 9 movies in the Skywalker saga, so like they exist now, and the only way around it to ignore it completely would be like some World Between Worlds magic. I don't think they're gonna do it.
I'd rather them just move forward, just get it right the next time.
I mean, before I want them to move forward too, but before they do that, I want to see the original trilogy like heroes with one like final like kind of good send off, and I think that would be Filoni's movie or even an animated show.
Favreau's movie too.
Yeah, Favreau's movie. Yep. Dude, I'm so excited for the Mando movie. It starts filming this month.
Yeah, they upped it. Yeah, it starts filming.
They moved production the next 2 weeks. Yeah. I hope we start hearing some stuff. Like I hate leaks, but at the same time, I'm like, I need something.
Dude, I'll message Tony and be like, dude, please go hop a fence or something. Like,
right.
Like, go bike down and hop a fence.
I'm sure Tony will watch this later. So yeah, Tony, we're gonna need you to do some recon for that movie because, oh man, I that is a movie I'm really excited for. I love Favreau like as a director. I mean, Iron Man, dude, he killed it. I have high hopes for that one for sure. And Mando on like a movie budget, condensed story.
It's what's needed.
Yeah, that's gonna be so freaking sick. How I wrote it. That's how I wrote it. I'm not sure.
Like you talking about like how he wrote like the beginning to like Rey's training.
Oh, interesting. I would be curious to see what that looks like. We need Knights of the Old Republic with Keanu Reeves as Revan.
Dude, make it happen. Although I feel like it's like 10 years too late at this point.
I know. Countdown's getting old, man. It would have been sick if they did it like right after the sequel trilogy, if they just instead of the sequel trilogy, they were like,
Yeah,
we're doing Knights of the Old Republic.
Like we're going back to beginning and then then we're gonna like get you guys
Yeah.
all that was. I think that kind of would have been the right choice to go to the very beginning first, but
yeah, they were eager to get Mark and Harrison and Carrie Fisher all together again. They were really eager to do that because they knew it would put butts in the seats, which it did. I mean, The Force Awakens made $2 billion. It's the highest grossing domestic movie ever, and it's not going to be topped.
Yeah, that's
Endgame was like $100 million off.
Yeah, it was pretty close. It was up there.
That was the closest. $100 million. Though, do you know how much more? Like
that's like 3 days. Like 3 days to like around the like domestic and foreign like box office. That's like it. Dude, if Endgame would have took that though, I would have been a little upset. Not gonna lie. Like even though I love Marvel, I'd have been like, damn, just leave it for Star Wars.
I don't think it's ever gonna happen, but
I do. I think James Cameron can make it happen with something.
That's a good point. James Cameron, if anyone, can do it because
we got 12 Avatar movies coming out there in the next 30 years.
So well, I was thinking about that. So James Cameron is doing Avatar 3 comes out next year, and 4 and 5 are the last ones that he said he will do. But Disney owns Avatar, so
are they going to? He said he's going to produce the 6. Like 6 is going to happen, but he's going to be like producing. He's not going to be the one directing. Yeah.
I think if Avatar 5 is James Cameron's final movie, I think it'll be massive.
I don't think James Cameron's gonna be Scorsese. He's not done until he's in the ground. Like
that's probably true. He's gonna be. That's probably true. Yes, the Force works in mysterious ways.
Ben Barnes. Okay, I'm for that. I am so for that. Especially after everything with Punisher, like Ben Barnes would be perfect.
Yeah, Ben Barnes would be cool for sure. I like that. That's a good suggestion. Do some mock-up art and send it Lucasfilm's way. They're not going to change any of it. They'll just make the sequel trilogy make sense and be more satisfying, just as they did with the Clone Wars and the prequels. We should have learned from them, but fans, I do hope that they make more sense, and I hope the Filoni movie can help with that. But unless we get Mara, I don't think Luke will ever make sense to me.
I almost wouldn't want Davis movie to try and help with that because I feel like it would take away from the real story that is trying to be told. I'd rather that just be its own thing separate.
Yeah.
But definitely
I agree. Mara. I don't want the movie to be like, oh, we're only making this movie so we can justify the sequels. Like, I don't want that to be the case. I agree.
I just don't want the story. Like, I don't want the story to get affected because of it.
I think the problem is that we're already kind of seeing that. Look at Ahsoka and how incompetent, like, the New Republic is. Even tells the Empire how incompetent the New Republic is. Like,
yeah, when she came in just demanding, well, I was like the second she started demanding, I'm like, dude, you're pissing up the wrong tree. Like,
they're idiots, man. I'm like, so because the New Republic doesn't fight against the First Order, we now have to just make them complete morons the entire time. I don't like that at all.
For the people that are going to the worlds acting like that are power hungry, I'm all for it. But like the people in the Senate shouldn't be like that. Like if Leia's in the Senate, it shouldn't be like that.
Well, Senator Ziano or whatever, come on. That guy's a moron.
Dude, I don't even want to talk about Ziano. I'm just getting annoyed just thinking about him, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Speaking of that, have you seen the trailer for the Patterson cut of Ahsoka?
No, but I saw the Kenobi like redo they're doing with the different special effects and stuff. I saw the trailer for that one.
Oh, so yeah, I watched that when that came out, way better. But the Ahsoka one, dude, I was more excited for that than watching the Ahsoka when it came out. Even though I think Ahsoka's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's pretty solid. Yeah.
Like when I watched that trailer, I was like, dude, I need this story now, even though we already have it.
That's cool. I want to see it. I did watch the Patterson cut of Kenobi, and it was better. I liked it. But I was talking about there's actually a different guy, not Patterson, that's doing like he actually worked on visual effects for Andor, and he's doing like different visual effects and everything in Kenobi. Have you seen this?
I I know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up anyway. So, but well, go ahead and read this question at the same time.
Mind you, wasn't Keanu rumored to be in the Acolyte? Yeah, he is. In like a cameo, I think.
Which
I don't
would be
know.
cool because of Carry On Moss like being.
Yeah, it would. It would. Okay, honestly, with how Leslie is a fan of the Matrix, I think that that's just gonna happen. Like I don't know if Carrie On Moss and Keanu will share a screen together or like a frame together, but I think that they'll be in the same show. Whether Keanu is just being like a merchant, just like a drunk merchant, or if he's a Jedi. But I'd want to see, or maybe okay, with that character being rumored about them killing Jedi, and you see Carrie On Moss in the trailer, like looking down at, like it looks like she's looking at like a body she found. That could be Keanu as well.
That could be. I
But
think
I wouldn't want that.
No, I would if he shows up as a cameo. I kind of want him to be like a super badass that just.
Yeah,
like,
I want. Yeah, okay.
I want John Wick in space.
What if Keanu is that Sith Lord? Just it's not going to be. What
That
if
would
that
be
Sith Lord is Keanu?
That'd be really cool. I'd be in on that. He says in a cameo role, no less. Yeah. Honestly, though, if it's like what if it's like a hollow recording or something, and it's Revan?
Dude. All right.
I don't know. We get way too excited about shit that probably will never happen. We constantly do this.
Oh yeah, yeah. Pixel Joker. Yeah, I know. Yep. Okay.
Pixel. Ah, jeez, I just changed it to a different one. Oh man. Here we go. But like the moons and everything, like see how different it is already.
And that's how. And it's funny because that's how it looked in Tales.
Yeah, it's so interesting. But in the actual Kenobi, it didn't look anything like that.
I remember
even
too,
like,
with, like
this. Like, look.
Yeah, I remember. I know there's one shot in the later on that like, shows like where Anakin and Kenobi were fighting on the moon, and I know it looks so much better.
Dude, that's sick. I like that. Yeah.
Or the crystal, Qui-Gon's crystal.
He's got the what's his face? The Grand Inquisitor there.
Yeah. Dude.
So that looks pretty cool. I think that could be fun to watch. Definitely interested to see it. So,
dude, yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. The propaganda. Really cool. That should be fun once that's done. I know he's like he gave an update like 4 months ago or so, and I think he's still got a ways to go. So rumors, yep. We'll see about Keanu. It will be beaten eventually because of inflation. He's talking about
That's true.
I honestly don't know. Like 950 million or whatever it made domestic is
domestic.
Ridiculous.
That's insane. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like
people don't know that most of the box numbers like that, like 1 billion number, comes from foreign. Only like 300 to 400 of that is domestic.
Right.
The fact that like that 900 came from the U.S. alone is like. Dude,
it's absurd. Like you can't even understand how insane that is, because think of this. I mean, Dune 2 just did like a little over 700 million, and it hit 300 domestic, which was it was known as like a very, very good movie domestically. 300 million. This tripled that.
Yeah, like Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire I think it's almost at 600 million right now. And only 135 of that is domestic, and that's just the budget is 135. So they just barely broke even on domestic.
Yeah, and even then, once you pay the theaters, you're not really breaking even. But
you're a little short, and also marketing too.
Marketing, of course, too. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Yes, inflation at some point, I guess 50 years from now, probably it's all going to catch up, right? So, in a way. Yes, I wonder what inflation would be for Star Wars domestically, the OG Star Wars, because that would probably be, I don't know, is there like a list of top grossing movies domestically with inflation? Let's see.
Box Office Mojo, I think, has it. A New Hope, though, is over 1.6 billion. So
that's crazy. Okay.
Here, there you go.
I actually got it too. I'm gonna go ahead and share it. Yeah. Where am I? All right. Let's see here. So A New Hope, it says 1.7 billion domestic inflation adjusted box office. Titanic 1.4, ET 1.4. There's Force Awakens at 1.19, and Avatar at $1 billion. Empire Strikes Back at $1 billion. The fact that
Return
4 of these movies are Star Wars movies in the top 10. Yeah, man, 900 million domestic is nuts, but yes, maybe for inflation, are we ever going to get these 3 movies at the top were original movies?
Yeah, and the fact that in the top 10, almost half of them are by James Cameron alone is like
dude, if
anyone's gonna
Spielberg
break it,
or Cameron.
Yeah.
They're like George Lucas, Spielberg, and Cameron. We got Jurassic Park, we got Avatar, Titanic, E.T.
And the thing is too is like they're all friends, which makes it all like the better. Like these 3 friends just did that.
Wow. Yeah, man, this is a crazy list to look at. So yes, I suppose with inflation,
in terms of the next 5 years, though, I don't think it can get beaten.
I don't see it in the next 10 years, but I would after that maybe. I mean,
we're gonna have 2 Avatar movies in the next 10 years, so that's why I'm thinking like it could be possible then. Because by 2030 is the last Avatar movie that James is producing, or that he's directing anyway.
Like I said, yeah, Avatar 5, it's his final directing like movie, then I think it could be massive. Especially if it like all culminates pretty well. And I Cameron's a really good storyteller, so it could. It definitely could.
I agree.
Let's get moving on. Why am I so far behind in the stream? Like,
not too sure.
Are you behind? Are we behind? I don't know. Refresh. Do you have Discord server, or is there in the show notes description? I'll give you a link to my story. We do have a Discord server. And is that yours?
No,
okay. That's the one for the project.
Yeah,
perfect. Yeah, just share in there. We have a general Star Wars discussion in there. You can share anything you'd like. Happy to take a look. What is it? What are we saying here? Oh, this is Grand Inquisitor. I knew it would never happen, and I mentioned it earlier in the watch party. But if we got the Grand Inquisitor and Jarek together, I'd love to see their conflict. The Padawan of the woman Grand Inquisitor hated most. Who did Grand Inquisitor hate most? Maybe I'm just not up to date on the lore here.
I'm not. I know, like with Jarek, everything with Jarek, but one second.
I'm not familiar with the lore on that one. I'll be honest with you, RJ. I'm gonna let Caden take a look at that. Trent, sup? Welcome. Thanks for joining. We still have the Acolyte trailer to look at, which we haven't done yet at all. I don't know, RJ. You can elaborate. I'm not sure who.
Because I know Jarek is also Legends, so I'm not.
Oh, here we go. Sure. The Grand Inquisitor hated Jocasta Nu with a passion, as she considered him unworthy of education. Jocasta is pretty much responsible for Jarek's thirst of knowledge. What media is that in? I'm just curious because I've never really seen much about the Grand Inquisitor outside of Rebels, and I guess what we've received through Kenobi and now Tales. So, is there like a book that features the Grand Inquisitor? Is he featured in that Red Blade book? I've never even read that one.
I know that he was talked about, and that there's parts of it in there, but what he's talking about is more from Legends. There's a bunch of Legends books on the Inquisitors, and I think that's where RJ is coming from.
I thought the Inquisitors weren't created until Disney acquisition, though. How can they be Legends?
Jarek is Legends. So
interesting, man. I don't know. My Legends knowledge is mostly post Empire. So I don't know. We know the Grand Inquisitor hated Jocasta in the Vader comics, as well as behind the scenes facts on the Grand Inquisitor about his hate of Jocasta. Oh,
Are you talking about the Dark Horse comics? Because if so, then that makes sense.
it has to be.
That's what I think anyway.
Well, I don't know. Not familiar with that, honestly. I might have to familiarize myself. But we got a new trailer for the Acolyte.
I mean, I don't want to get my hopes up, but I'm invested. Like,
I liked it better than the first trailer, which I thought was pretty bland, honestly.
looking back on it after this trailer, yeah, that first one's definitely kind of bland.
I didn't love the first trailer at all. Like, it kind of looked a little fan filmy to me. This looks a lot better, but I don't know, man. Something about it, like, I'm just not super excited, and I think it's the story that's not grabbing me. Like, okay, there's like an assassin that's just killing Jedi. Like, okay, like we know the Sith don't show up until Phantom Menace, so like this can't even technically be a Sith lore because it's just lore breaking at that point. So I don't really.
Well, it's not. I can explain that, at least what I believe to be the case, because like look at it like Dooku in the Lost 20. It's not a Sith Lord that just came out of the shadows. Obviously, we know it's not Plagueis. Like his head would be massive compared to like the circular dome.
Right.
It's more of like a Jedi that left the Order that was upset and then just started taking its anger out and killing the Jedi.
That's kind of what I think too, like a dark Jedi, basically.
Yeah, it's not a Sith Lord, and it wouldn't be the Sith. It would just be like Dooku Jedi Lost, the Lost 20.
Okay,
that's kind of where like I'm telling myself anyway.
That is really interesting. There, what is happening?
Yeah,
here?
When I saw that, I instantly started thinking of like Underworld and a whole bunch of other movies.
Yeah, something's going on with these witches and stuff. That's very interesting. I will say that all the space scenes look really good.
The ice rings, like
yes,
like that shot was sick.
That one was really cool. Let's see here. Like, yeah, that looks good.
Okay, like I know that Acolyte has a huge budget, but this has felt the most like when it comes to like the Force Awakens, when it comes to budget for the scale of like the space battles, like this feels like it's gonna be like insane, especially like the world building too. Like I know it's gonna be.
Yeah, the nice thing is that it definitely is disconnected from so much of the other lore that we can kind of do a lot of world building, right? Like there's so much that they can do without stepping on the toes of the Skywalker saga, which is what the sequel did. It just stepped all over everything, right? So that I am excited about, that it can be its own thing and it be disconnected and it can build its own creative whatever path, what timeline is the Acolyte? In which year BBY? Before Battle of Yavin, it's like what, 130 something?
130, almost 140, probably, yeah. Because it's 100 years before the Phantom Menace. So
yeah,
whatever the Phantom Menace is before, that just add those two up.
I actually think the exact timeline, because of the High Republic books, said that this was closer to 90 something years before Phantom Menace. So, but close, yeah, about 100 years.
It's within in that 10-ish year mark.
Yeah.
So Palpatine, Plagueis, none of those people should be mentioned. The only person from the Skywalker saga that should show up would be Yoda. Anyone else, and it wouldn't make sense at all.
Yoda should 100% be in the temple, in the Jedi temple.
Yoda and probably Yaddle, I would say.
Oh yeah, I'd love to see Yaddle. We won't see Samuel L.
No,
Plagueis. Yeah, we just actually said another comment, which I was about to say too. Plagueis should be around. He exists at this time.
Yeah, but he's not nearly at the height of his power. That's like 20 years before Phantom Menace.
But by time this show ends, let's say they plan 3-4 seasons or something like that, Plagueis possibly could be coming into the fold by the end of the show.
Yeah, they could like the if they go like 10 years per season, Plagueis and probably even Palpatine, we could get Palpatine's story at the end of like one of the episodes, like Palpatine killing Plagueis, and that's how he becomes of power,
Yeah.
leading us right into where we know.
Yeah,
I feel like
I
we could
know.
see like a cliffhanger with young Sheev Palpatine.
I think like a series finale with a Plagueis and Sheev would be cool,
Yeah,
and it'd be another way to lead us to a possibly like a Plagueis movie, based on the book, obviously the Legends
yeah.
book,
Not
which
even killing
people
Plagueis in the
love.
show, just giving us that story of young Palpatine.
Yeah, I think that would be really really cool, and obviously that's one you can recast fairly easily, just like they did for the prequels. Like we're getting younger characters that we haven't seen that young before, so it works
Yeah,
in my
and
opinion.
they just need to stick with recasting because we're never gonna feel that same emotion with it
Yeah,
being deep faked or even CGI
agreed.
recreation.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Um, Trent says beginning of Jedi Order, right? So no, beginning of
No,
Jedi Order is the James Mangold movie. It's probably slated for like 2028 or something like
I
that.
was
It's
just
it's
yeah, I
a
was going
ways
to say
out.
2028, 2029.
Yeah, it's a ways out.
And that'll be thousands of years before this.
Yes.
So this is the height of the Jedi at their peak, like at the Jedi's peak. At the height of their delusion, even with everything.
Right, because they hadn't seen the Sith hadn't been seen at this point since like the Old Republic.
Yeah, since
So
the Sith Empire Wars.
yeah, so they think that they're invincible, essentially. I think a mirror universe project would be some cool stuff like Star Trek and Transformers miniseries. I did like how Star Trek kind of used the mirror universe, even in the first season of Discovery. Maybe that was the second season. I think that was first season. I'm getting those confused, but yeah, the mirror universe could be a really cool way to set up some alternative timelines. If I really hope that they do some non-canon stuff at some point, but we'll see.
Same here.
The Santekas are
Like more
around.
Santeco.
Young lore might be in there somewhere. Not that I'm hoping or that he has to be. Fair enough. Okay, I'm mixing up
No
new
worries.
content. Yeah, no worries, no worries there. All right. So, I saw people speculating that this was Octu.
No. What?
Not a chance. Someone was like, "Oh, well, that looks like the little creatures from Octu."
If anything, when they're by
Like,
the water, that might be more believable for Octu.
yeah, sure, that one is a little more believable, but even there, I don't think it really is at all. Like, I don't.
Yeah, like it's.
This
I don't think it is either. I think honestly, it probably is maybe the same planet, but
of the other that's the other one, yeah.
yeah,
I don't
but
think it's
it's not
Octu at
Octu.
all.
It's this scale is way too off for it to be Octu.
Yeah.
Look at how insane that mountain peak is. That's not Octu. At least I don't think, because Octu didn't have other islands behind it either. From what I
it was
remember.
pretty secluded from what I remember too. So I don't think it's Octu.
That's a
a
shot
cool
though.
shot. Yeah, that's a cool shot. Oh.
I'm honestly very excited to see what's gonna happen with Daphne King's character though.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I think she's gonna be a pretty cool character. Here we go. Here's the Sith Lord. Well, he's not even a
The
Sith
money
Lord.
shot.
Yeah. That mask's pretty sick, dude.
Yeah, dude. When they showed Barris getting her helmet, instantly I was like, dude, we're getting a Hasbro Black Series of that next year. I'm calling it.
Yeah.
Like
100%. 100%. Dude, they'll any helmeted character that comes up, we get a figure for it pretty much. So this is interesting though, for sure. I want to know who the actor is. I want to know who it is.
Like it's crazy because hang on. Okay, I already said it before with Ezra in the first teaser trailer where everyone thought that Barris was the Inquisitor, but when they swing here, like their frame is really small. Like I think it's a female character. I could be wrong, but I think it's a female character.
Oh my gosh, you might be right.
Like I genuinely think this is a female character. But in the first shot, I would have said it was a male. I would have said it was Keanu. Honestly,
they do, yeah, right. Not,
but like
if it's Keanu, like no
but
way.
When they're slashing like that, like they even look short too.
Yeah, that's
Like right here, like you can kind of see the silhouette. Like it definitely is a shorter person.
that's a female for sure. You're right. And when this is where you can see that they're pretty tiny. Look how short this person is.
It's not like Edna, but it's getting there. It's like Danny DeVito height. Okay, maybe a
Yeah, I
little bit
think
more Danny DeVito.
you're probably
But like,
right, man. I don't know. That's
and also too, there's a reason why his apprentice doesn't have a lightsaber right now. Because she's not a part of the order. Why is she resorting to using throwing knives and daggers?
right. Did you watch the extended clip that came out with? Oh, you're gonna see it today though. The Phantom Menace. There's a 4-minute preview before the Phantom Menace.
Not gonna lie, dude. I don't know if my theater's gonna show it. I know some theaters haven't been showing it around me.
Oh,
But also,
really?
my theater doesn't get anything cool, dude. Like we we don't get anything like of like the special editions and stuff. The only last thing I remember was Jackass, which was like the little like introduction to it before. That was the last like cool thing our theater had before a movie. That and then Burt Kreischer's The Machine. They had like a live event for it first. That was cool.
Oh, that's cool.
That was like about it.
I watched it online. Someone filmed it obviously, and
Reddit.
I watched it online, and it's the Carrie Ann Moss scene, which is very cool.
Is it
very good choreography.
Beginning like scene, or is it the like one where it's before it's nighttime? Before her.
It's the beginning
demise.
scene when they're fighting inside like the restaurant or whatever. I don't know what it is.
Oh, the
like
restaurant
or bar or whatever.
Because like I know like with the beginning of it when it shows like the saber on the ground, like they're in like a barn.
Yeah, they moved to the barn. So,
Okay.
and we see the last thing we see in the clip is Carrie Ann Moss igniting her lightsaber, which is actually in the trailer here. I think towards the beginning or something. This right here. The last thing we see, but they're like moving locations. That's pretty much all we see. It kind of ends right here. Well, she throws the knife at her actually, and then she slices it in half, and then boom, then we see that. So and that's it. It's like a 4-minute clip or 3 minutes maybe. The fight goes on for a while. It's very well choreographed. I love Carrie Ann Moss, so do I think that what?
The thing that was said about them topping the Phantom Menace fight, they think after seeing your clip of like the 4 minutes, they think it's possible with the choreography, or they think it's a little bit of a reach?
Impossible.
Okay. That's fair.
Not even like no. That is like the dumbest statement I've ever heard. I'm sorry, but like that's just like so dumb. Yeah. I'm not all for that at all. I don't think that's gonna happen at all. Nah, we all know that Sith or Dark Jedi is really Darth Jar Jar before he extended his lifespan. Dude, can you imagine? I mean, the mask doesn't fit, obviously, but if he was just like a hooded figure and they pulled it off and it's Jar Jar.
It's like,
I think that would be the funniest thing ever.
I would just love for him to say, like, you chose the wrong side. And it's just like, dude. And then you just, like, if you just saw his eyes glowing through, like the hood, like his eyes, like, okay, with
that would be so funny.
With Tails, I was honestly expecting to see the Force Sisters like Sith eyes kind of go away when she was grabbing Barriss and said, like, you're not dying here.
Oh yeah,
I kind of expected her eyes to change, and they didn't. So I don't know. I mean, because like Anakin's just changed like that. So I think like it could be possible. I mean, look at the Corridor cinematic trailer. Look when the eyes just change.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's technically Legends too, so I can't rely on it too much. But
they say the eyes change. So I mean, that's what I don't know. I think
eyes change, eyebrows grow. That is what it is.
There are some inconsistencies in Star Wars, guys. Can you believe it? We've already seen Jar Jar perform a lightsaber throw in the comics, and no, I'm not joking. He actually did that in front of Rex.
I mean, he also did that in Clone. Like, he didn't like the lightsaber throw in Clone Wars, but he like fumbled around with one in Clone Wars a couple times, which was.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, he acted like he didn't do it.
You faked being a Jedi.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that arc. Oh my gosh, he had the cloak and everything. That was
Yeah.
so funny. And it returned to his hand. What comic is this? I have to
Please
see
tell me that
this.
he like grabbed it with his tongue or something and like pulled it back.
Oh
Like,
my
dude,
gosh, I have to see this.
that would be sick though. Like if he like threw it and then grabbed it with his tongue and swung it around, like, dude.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. I'm all for it. I give me Darth Jar Jar and just give it to me in a mirror universe. That'd be funny. Why not?
What if?
Yeah, what
What if
if?
Jar Jar
Yeah,
was the Sith Lord?
it'd be funny. I have no problems with it at all. So, anyway, that's the Acolyte trailer, guys. I'm definitely not trying to be negative about it at all or anything like that. I just don't know if I'm 100% bought in on it at this point. So I'm still kind of like, I'm still just kind of like, you know what? We'll see how it is. I don't want to get burned before I get my hopes up too high.
Keeping your expectations tamed. Like I kind of
Yes.
expected, even though I've said that I shouldn't do it, I kind of expected my ending to happen with Tails or Bad Batch with Thrawn showing up on Tantus. So I'm kind of just limiting my own expectations at this point, or my own theories. But I mean, before we go, do you want to talk about the Skeleton Crew news, even though it's not a whole lot?
Sure, yeah. So Skeleton Crew. I'm actually just gonna pull up the tweet here. And let me share again. There it is. You can go ahead and take it away.
Skeleton Crew will be released in December on Disney Plus. So I went ahead and looked at the article, and it's saying around Christmas season 2024 is when it'll be released. So we finally got some news, and it's from Collider. Collider's very reputable, at least in my eyes, anyway.
Yeah.
So we're finally going to see this come to fruition. It was supposed to come out last year at Christmas time, and for unknown reasons, kind of got pushed away. So hopefully, it actually comes out. I'm excited. It just feels like, honestly, at this point, it might even be like a little too late. Like from when it was supposed to be released, like the hype around it kind of has already like died down.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Like this was supposed to come out last Christmas season, so this is basically coming out a year late.
And this photo is almost 3 years old at this point.
Yeah. Should be really interesting though. I mean, it's one of those things I'm like, I'm really interested to see this show because I have no idea what any of it's about, but I know it takes place I know it'll somewhat tie in to Mando and Filoni's movie and all that stuff. So for that reason, that alone gets me a little excited for it. I have no idea what this is about though.
I'm also very excited too that it's John Watts.
Yeah, John Watts. Yeah, that's a big name.
At least from what I've seen anyway of his stuff, he hasn't made a bad project yet. So I have hope it'll still turn out good.
Oh, I think so, dude. In the list of directors they have here, the Daniels are doing it. David Lowery, Bryce Dallas Howard. Yeah, the Daniels are doing one of the episodes.
It's gonna be good. When I saw it, I don't even know how I didn't even notice the Lee Isaac Chung.
Yep.
Like we're set.
Big names. They got some good directors to come in and direct these episodes, and obviously Bryce kills it every time too. So, for that reason,
she has the best episodes. Like her episodes haven't been bad.
Well, besides the Lizzo
episode. We're not going to talk. I'm not. That wasn't Bryce. That was an alternate ego. That was.
So this is the comic. Is this what you sent me? Is this the comic?
Yeah, these are both from from RJ.
I'm trying to load this image. It's not loading. Okay, here we go. This is it. Star Wars Age of Republic special Marvel. This is issue number 1. I don't know. The whole picture's not. This must be a massive picture. It's not really loading. Ventress, and there he is. The man, the myth, the legend.
Oh, this is canon too.
Yes.
This is canon. So
thank you, RJ, for providing this. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to look into this more because this just sounds hilarious. So I'm all for it. I also like how they use like the generic Rex art on this.
They just took like Rex's like main pose.
Literally, that's like from like the side of a Black Series like box right there. Like that's hilarious. Interesting. Very interesting. Jar Jar, man. He's a Force user. We all know it. Doing his flips and shit like that too in the Phantom Menace.
I'm excited to see that tonight. I was like thinking, I was like, I kind of wonder how the CGI is gonna hold up. Like if I'm gonna laugh at it or if I'm just gonna be like, I believe it. Like what Jar Jar doing is like 30,000 flips into the water, like the dive, like the Olympic swimmer.
I feel like the CGI does not hold up in Phantom Menace personally, but I do think the lightsaber battles and the sets really hold up. Like, and the pod race really holds up. They use a lot of practical effects for it though.
Yeah, well, and same with the sets, like they fully like built a lot of those sets. They just extended them with CG.
Yeah, I think that's why they look so good. The worst part of the movie to me visually is the battle on Naboo.
Yeah, the Gungans.
Yeah, it's bad because it's like I mean it's a CGI fest and it is like the bad era of CGI.
It looks like a sandbox. You're
yeah,
like 100,000 Thanos versus Thor. You're like or 100,000 troops versus Darth Vader. Like it's like one of those sandbox sets.
It
like,
does. It looks just like that. That's so funny. Yeah, so I'm like, I mean, I'm not a like, I don't love it, but I mean, Phantom Menace is not my favorite Star Wars movie, but I like it. I like it enough to watch it multiple times.
Can't say the same about others. That's how I feel about it too. It's like
that's right. That's right.
Okay, like for example, like I don't know if I can't speak on the original trilogy, but for me, out of the prequels, like there has to be like a best, middle, and worst, and the worst probably would be the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
But for me, like visually, I'd say sometimes I almost say Attack of the Clones is better than Revenge of the Sith at times. But Revenge of the Sith also has some of the best shots we've ever gotten in Star Wars too.
Yeah,
so like
that's the thing. I'm the same way. I love Attack of the Clones. Like I think people dislike it for some reason, but I love it. But yes, Revenge of the Sith has some like iconic moments, so it's tough.
There's just one shot in Phantom Menace that I always think about where it's Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan standing on like a rooftop and they're looking out and it's like an orange background. Like it's like the skyline of Coruscant and it just looks so bad. That's like
I know which one you're talking about. It's like,
but like
there's like a trillion of those like cars in the sky or whatever. Oh my, it looks so bad.
But that's like the only thing. That's like my only like really gripe about the CGI, along with like, I mean, Gungan City to me looks beautiful, but everyone has their own opinions on it.
It looks okay. I mean, I don't think any of the CGI looks amazing in it. But they were really pushing like the technology at the time. Yeah.
I mean, it looks great in the Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. So, I mean,
there you go. If it looks good in a video game, it's all that matters.
Exactly, dude.
All right. Well, I actually am going to be heading to go see a movie myself here pretty shortly. So I think I'm ready to wrap up. I mean, if you are, and we chatted about a lot of stuff today, and we have like no shows until June. So we'll have the next 3 weeks to kind of just speculate, I think. And I'm really hoping we get some Mando movie news that we can talk about in the coming weeks. That would be awesome. That they're going to start filming, and I think some stuff will start trickling out. So
yeah, I know that I have a couple of videos planned just talking about like going over everything with Thrawn and Morgan Elsbeth and then Barris and whatnot. But mainly, I think I'm going to release a fan fiction of my ending with everything with Thrawn. And I
love it, dude.
I don't want it to be like too fan fictiony and too far out of reality, but at the same time, like I kind of do.
Have fun with it. No, have fun with it for sure. Yeah. I'm really gonna be getting back to some videos on my channel too now that I have some more free time, and I'm working on 2 right now. I talked to you about them, so we'll have some more videos coming out, both of us. So subscribe to both channels, guys, and tune in. I think we'll be back at this next week. We probably will, but we won't be doing Saturday. We'll probably go back to the normal Thursdays. So Wednesdays or Thursdays.
Yeah, I don't really know what next week looks like. I just know that like mainly for like my work schedule now, Monday through Wednesday is really busy, and then typically the weekends, but
Okay.
I mean, it's a golf course, so it changes daily. So I mean,
I hear
like
you.
my schedule's kind of just a toss up, but we can aim for Thursday and just see where it goes.
We'll aim for Thursday, guys, and if we need to move, we'll move it. And hey, we'll put out a notice when we're going live. We'll do that.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm getting out of here. So thanks, guys, for joining. May the 4th be with you, and enjoy your weekend. See you guys.
See you.